Hello everyone and welcome back to the Hexagon Challenge here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well, and today, following on from yesterday's episode, it is the semi-finals of the second phase of Liga MX here. We're taking on the team we played in our first game in charge at Monterrey. It is Pumas, and if we can win this tie, then we will be playing Champions League football in CONCACAF next season. So if you're looking forward to that, remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already, also consider hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But as I said, yesterday's episode, if you missed it, I'll leave a link in the top right corner. We played Qualification, as you can see in the top right corner on our fixture list. We bet them 4-2 on aggregate narrow wins in both the away league and then the home league. Of course, that was the team who, as you can see from the league table, finished third overall. So it was a tough tie for us first up in the quarterfinals, but now we drop down somewhat and take on Pumas, a team that we know that we can beat after that first game in charge here, where we did beat them 3-1 at their home ground. So going into this quite confident without being certain that we're going to make it through. Of course, the big carrot in today's tie, if we can win it, we have Champions League football next season, and that would be a really good accomplishment considering we were down in 12th when we joined the club prior to that Pumas game. But we're going to crack straight into things today, having only just played that tie against Qualification. We do have Hernandez back for this game, but unfortunately Ayala is suspended. He picked up too many yellow cards in yesterday's episode. So what that means for our team going into this game is that Garcia is going to come in at left back. Now, that's a bit different. You probably were expecting Ortiz, but this guy has a bit more match fitness and is a little bit better suited to that left back role. You can see he's actually quite a promising player. Good speed, bit better crossing than Ortiz. So I feel like he's worth going with for today's game. We'll see what he can do in this first leg, and we should have Ayala back for that second leg as well. So that's the only change for us going into today's game outside of the midfield returning to full strength. A little bit harsh on Núñez perhaps, but still a good bench option for us there. So we'll crack into things. The away league is up first yet again for us, as we are the top qualifier, then the home league. So we are going to the Jose Manuel de la Tola, and we'll see if we can pick up an away result yet again against Pumas to give us a leg up in this semi-final Liga MX Torneo Clausura tie. So Pumas, of course, the home team for this league. Another team going with a narrow formation, much like Qualification, a 4-2-3-1. Not in a great spell of form either, with 2 draws to get into this phase. So we might have the edge on them both in previous outings since we've been manager and on recent form. Slightly better than theirs, it has to be said. So hoping that we can boot them while they're somewhat down here. Pumas kicking off, playing left to right in the white. We are in our dark blue and black. And yeah, hoping for a similar result to our first game in charge, where we beat them 3-1 here in this first leg of the semi-final tie. 20 minutes gone here, the first real highlight of the game. So it's been a very quiet first half so far, but we do have a thrown in a good area of the pitch. Renan puts us in the mixture. I think it was Gutierrez with the header there, but Edson, a good goalkeeper for Pumas. We discovered that in the first game, even though he did concede free, keeps that out. We have a corner is headed away out to Barco, but we will try and get another attack going here and get an early goal on the board, which would be nice being an away one. Gutierrez, we put a ball in, it's headed away from Vasquez, already on a yellow, as is our left back Garcia, but for now, it does remain 0-0 halfway through this first half. 31 minutes gone here, and now we have a free kick. Renan to put this towards the back post, trying to find Puente, but they did deal with that, did Pumas, but we keep in a good area of the pitch. Ball for Wellison, just gets that beyond Edson's reach, and we go 1-0 up. After 31 minutes, we have looked just a little bit more threatening than Pumas. They did come back with a bit of an innocuous highlight since that one that we showed before around the 20-minute mark. But good ball there from Puente. Maybe Edson should be saving that, but too much power on it from Wellison. Left far too open by his defenders. And we go 1-0 up with about 12 minutes to go before halftime. Into the 46th minute, more or less, we have another free kick late in this half. They do hit it clear, do Pumas, but Hernandez tidying things up for us as we might look to try and break through yet again right before halftime, which would be a lovely time to score as Paulo on the ball back to Renan. Barco, and we just knocked the ball about looking to create one more chance before halftime. Garcia up to Wellison, just inside the box, back to Garcia. Good passing. Gutierrez with a shot, forces a decent save out of Edson, but it is saved, and that will be half time. It is 1-0. You can look at the stats and you can see we've been a lot more threatening in the end. We really kept a good pace throughout that first half, good consistency, and a good half in the end with that goal by Wellison in the 32nd minute. Pumas having a few so-so chances before then, but we really picked up after that first goal as well. So happy with how things are going. We'll tell the boys to keep doing what they're doing, and hopefully we can get a few more goals in the second half, albeit 1-0 in the away league is still a pretty good result going back home. Early highlight for us here in the second half, more or less, from the kickoff as we have a throw in. Now Clayton just gets beyond his man quite nicely. A bit of ice skating there, it's almost, but makes his way back into the box. We find Renan's shots blocked, and then it falls to Diego Hernandez back in the team. Little bit of luck there, it has to be said. The first shot was blocked. It did fall to him, but he puts it away quite nicely into that top left corner. And just after halftime, as I said before, halftime, a nice time to strike this is the case. A little bit fortunate, the slide tackle on Renan to block fell to Hernandez, but a good finish into the top left corner, and we make it 2-0 just after halftime. 60 minutes gone, and we have a throw in a good area of the pitch again, albeit we do give possession straight back to them, although they do the same to us. So luckily we're still in a good area of the field with possession and maybe have a chance to make it free, although a poor pass there. Rodriguez will cut it out, but we get back in possession from the clearance. Now Garcia on a yellow, picked it up early, but making his way down the left, loses possession to Rodriguez. A good few minutes for him, but his clearance is letting him down somewhat as we keep possession in a really good area of the pitch. Now Garcia again fizzes one in. Puente tries to get his head to it, but the defender cuts it out, but we are still on the attack, so a good period for us here. Nearly lose possession, but Barco gets it back for us. Gutierrez just inside the corner flag. Back to Clayton, our right back. Renan, can we make it free and really stamp our authority on this tie? Hernandez over to Garcia. Wellison. Puente with a shot, and he finds the back of the net. It was a bit of a speculative shot, I thought there, but we go 3-0 up just after the hour mark, and that's a really nice scoreline away from home, looking fairly similar to the scoreline that we got in our first game in charge. We're just knocking the ball about for a fair while. Wellison to Puente just sweeps that home, just pinpoint finish to get beyond the goalkeeper, the bottom left corner, and it's 3-0 at the hour mark. We will make a sub off the back of that because I think Renan might be on a yellow card going into the next tie, so we might just give him a rest here. We'll bring Nunez on for him just to make sure Renan doesn't get suspended. Nunez, a very able replacement, as we saw in the second leg of yesterday's episode. Just make sure that we're okay with suspensions going into the second leg and final, should that be an issue. But looking really good for us here. 3-0 away from home in the first leg just after the hour mark. Okay, 69 minutes gone here, and we're going to make a few more substitutions. Most players on yellow hearts playing well, but a few not quite in the green. So with that in mind, we'll make some substitutions in a pretty safe space here. It feels with a 3-0 lead. So what we're going to do is take Gutierrez off for Villalba, and also Clayton, who isn't having an overly good game of 6.5. We'll give Estrada a run, who got a wonder goal a few episodes ago in one of the off-camera games. But we'll make our last subs 3-0 up with 20 to go, though, feeling pretty safe. Hopefully we can keep them scoreless, and it'll be a good day at the office with 20 minutes to go. Corner at the 74-minute mark to Monterrey. Nunez will try and pick out Polo. Straight at Edson, though. That's a good chance for us, but it does still remain 3-0, although this highlight will continue as Edson looks for a clearance. Pumps it long, trying to find a striker, but we do cut it out, and Villalba with fresh legs makes his way down this right-hand side. What can the young Mexican do? Makes his way inside the box, cutting inside. We'll find Puente back for Hernandez. Thunders it into the top left corner. A really good goal. Was a little bit wondering what Puente was doing there with his back to goal that far out, but a thunderous strike from Hernandez wrong foots the goalkeeper, and it's absolute dreamland for us here. 4-0 in the away league. If we can hold this scoreline, boy oh boy, we'll be flying into the final and the Champions League. Of course, momentarily forgot about that. Really good goal, good finish, and we go 4-0 up with quarter of an hour to go. But it is Pumas off the back of that restart who look to get something going. They're going to try and get back into this tie, of course. 0 goals at home, 4 down will not be a good result for them. They need a goal at the very least, you'd think, here. Otherwise, they're in deep trouble. They do get a shot off there through Heze, but a good save from Schneller, and it does remain 4-0 going into the last quarter of an hour. 92 minutes gone. They do have a goal kick here to Pumas. We've gone a little bit more defensive towards the end, formation-wise, just dragging our wingers back. But they've barely fired a shot in this game. Only really that chance after we got our fourth. And that is full time. That is a superb performance from our boys today. Just look at the stats. We were thoroughly dominant. Outdid our XG ever so slightly in a 4-0 away win in a game that is pretty much for continental football next season is an excellent result. We can almost rest players in the second league now who do need a break before the final and maybe also have some suspensions coming up because that might be an issue. So we can rotate the team in the second league. That's just a perfect result. Takes the nerves out of the second league somewhat, more or less entirely actually. That's a brilliant performance from the boys today. And we've got 1.5 feet in the door of continental football next season, it feels like. And yeah, a very good result for us there. And in the other tie, Club America yet again are going to have to come from behind in the home league because they tasted defeat 1-0 to Dorados thanks to an early goal. So they're behind, but you'd still expect them to be making their way through the final if they pull out a similar performance to what they did in the quarters. But we are in a superb position going into the second league, and we'll be back shortly with that home league 4-0 up and looking very good for continental football next season here in North America. So we are back about to crack into the second league with that nice 4-0 lead going into the home tie, which is very nice. And as you can see on screen, we're on the team sheet page because we have made a lot of starting 11 changes, both because of suspension and just making sure that players aren't on that heavy workload when they do enter the final itself. So a little bit of a risk could hurt our form a little bit, but I'm hoping that at the very least we still make it through the finals. I can't see us, even with this team being put out, losing the game 4 or 5-0. So yeah, pretty confident that this team can do enough of a job for us to make it through to the final. The only players who are still in there from our regular first 11 are Schneller, Ayala, of course, who missed the last game because of suspension, and Hernandez, who had those few games off in yesterday's episode, so probably needs the match fitness as well. But apart from that, a really big reshuffle from us. Still got the likes of Lucas Nunez in there, 2 decent backup wingers. It's a pretty solid team still. And yeah, just a game that I'd be quite happy with, a scrappy sort of 0-0, 1-0 win. That would be actually really good with this team. But just something to see us make our way through to the final. No injuries and not having to call on too many bench players would be nice. But hopefully this rotation can do a job for us. And yeah, as I said, wouldn't mind a quiet result. Just enough to see us through to the final after that very nice first league performance. That gives us a chance to use a fairly heavily rotated team here today. And Pumas are sticking with that same sort of formation, the narrow 4-2-3-1. As you can see, their form not very good. So hopefully this rotation team, for the most part, can get a good result against them. And at the very least, see us through the final, which they should be able to do with a 4-0 lead and those 4 away goals as well. A very nice position for us to be in as we kick off playing right to left. I think it's the same uniforms from the first league with my goldfish memory, but 0 early doors, 4-0 on aggregate. 11 minutes gone here in Pumas with a throw, and those uniforms are quite similar from a certain angle to be fair, but they make the first attack here to Pumas. Hopefully we can cut this out, but they are right on the edge of our box. Play that back to Herzia, and now Rizal. There's good foot in there from Ayala, one of the few first team players. Pumps it long to Torres, tight angle, gets beyond his man. Great chance, but Edson with a wonderful save. It's a really good chance for us to go 1-0 up early and really wrap this tie up, but it is a good save from Edson to keep it at 0. We have a corner, and Edson again with a good bit of work there to claim the corner, and it does remain 0 after 15 minutes. 43 minutes gone, Pumas with a throw, but they are yet to have a shot in this game. We've at about 5, so despite the team that we've put out, still a wee bit dominant. Obviously no goals on the scoreboard, but we drive forward here through Torres, tight angle, and he hits the post with the shot. That's a bit unlucky. It looked a bit messy towards the end, but we go close late in the first half, but that's half time. As you can see through those stats, that is now 6 shots for us. Pumas yet to fire anything, and considering the fact that we've heavily rotated our team, I am quite happy with that performance. Probably should have a goal by now. Some good chances both early and late in that half, but given the scoreline on aggregate 4-0, we can be happy with that. What we are going to do at half time though, as you can see down the bottom there, Hernandez, one of the few first team players who started this game, is on a yellow card already, which is a little bit surprising considering the lack of football he's had of late. But we will make a change there off to see what box to box options we do have on the bench. I'm a little bit hesitant to use Renan here because I think if he picks up a yellow card, he'll miss the first leg of the final. So Barco might be in a similar boat, but Clayton, I don't think is, and actually isn't a terrible box-to-box option looking at those stats. So I think we're going to bring Clayton into the box-to-box role, which is a bit of an interesting one. We'll see how he gets on in these 45 minutes, but that'll be a halftime sub just to make sure that Hernandez gets fit for that final. But 45 minutes left to go. 4-0 up, 4 away goals, looking very good for us with one half of football left to go. 53 minutes gone, we have a goal kick, which we do play out short. Pumas yet to fire a shot still, so they're really not offering much in this second leg, which is a bit surprising considering the situation of the game, but we will take it as Estrada makes his way forward. Little fancy pass to find Nunez, but the ball from him cut out, but we do get possession back shortly after that, and Garcia driving forward on the edge of the box, tries to put a ball in. Ayala will try and find Torres cut out, but we do keep possession yet again and looking quite dominant without getting a goal and many shots on target yet in this game, but we'll take that considering the nature and situation of this tie. Messi ball, Garcia with a great chance, but Edson with a save. I say Messi ball, I mean Messi defense there from Pumas. They gave us a great chance there yet again, but it does remain 0-0. Edson should have really conceded one by now. Good chance around the 10-minute mark of the first half and there as well, where he's been forced into some good saves, but really happy with how this pretty heavily rotated team is going as we just hold the ball up nicely just inside our own half as he knocks it back to the other side of the halfway line, but we're just holding the ball up nicely, looking to build another attack. But Pumas, as I said, not really doing much, which is surprising when you're 4-0 down, but Estrada tries to put a ball in. It's a block, but he might be able to have another crack. Finds Garcia, far post, his header just over the bar with some really good chances, but it remains 0-0 after 55 minutes. And now it is a goal kick to Pumas as they look to finally get a shot on target, no doubt, from this attack. Rosales just making his way down the right, back into Perez, and the game is fast slipping away from them as a whole, especially after the first leg. I suppose they were always uphill after that, but we have controlled this second leg fairly well without putting a ball in the back of the net yet, but Pumas finally look to get an attack going. Ramos over to Balshawich. Perez just holding the ball up, puts the ball across. Clayton is able to pick that out very easily, so that's a bit soft from Pumas. Garcia making his way forward, tight angle. Can he put a ball across? It's saved by the keeper. It was always tight, but Edson forced into a decent save again, and they look to get us on the counter here through Gonzalez. Back to Heze, makes his way Ayala with a pretty decent foul there, it has to be said, and it does remain 0-0 after the hour mark, but we have a throw-in and look to maybe get a goal up. A ball in for Garcia, his shot blocked, and it does remain 0-0 after 60 minutes, although this highlight may continue. No, it won't. 0-0 after 60 minutes. Throw-in, which we do look to attack from just after the hour mark. Nunez on the ball for us here, loses out to Gonzalez. He's tracking back nicely, but hasn't got the ball back for us yet. Has Nunez, not the best defender, so that's not surprising, but he holds his man up at the very least. And now Ramos, as Pumas, still looking for their first shot of the game here, I believe. They play that back. We nearly get it back through Torres, but Gomez cuts that, and Torres will look to go forward now. Back to Ortiz. Good ball for Garcia. Can we get something going? Garcia, tight angle, and that's a wonderful finish from Gerardo Garcia, and our rotation team is able to capitalize on a fair bit of dominance. It has to be said, we've looked pretty good without getting a goal in this game up until now. Wonderful ball from Ortiz. Garcia, too much pace for the defense, and we go 1-0 up on the day. Really nice finish on a tight angle. 5-0 on aggregate, and we are safe as houses now with continental football next season, it feels like. Okay, 65 minutes gone here. Ayala has been solid today, but we will take him off with the final in mind, and for him, we will bring Montoya on. We can put Ortiz back to left back, so we'll give Montoya a little bit of a run, take Ayala off, just save those legs for the final. So we'll make that substitution, our second of this game, looking, as I said, very safe for continental football next season with a 5-0 lead on aggregate with only 25 minutes left to go in the second leg. 72 minutes gone here. We have a throw in Pumas now with 2 shots, but both of them hitting the side netting from really tight angles, so they still haven't done much in this game, although they might now. That's a good foot in there from De Luna to get possession back for us there as we tried to get an attack going just before that, but it was cut out. But we do hold position in a nice area of the pitch. Slide tackle. Garcia with a shot falls to Edson. That's a good save from him, and we really are testing him today. He's been quite good in goal over both legs for Pumas, to be fair, but we've just been so dominant over these two legs that he's still been beaten quite regularly. He just seems like a team that we have the wood over, and it does remain 1-0 on the day and 5-0 on aggregate with 15 minutes and less left to go. 92 minutes gone here. You can see that Barco came on for Nunez, was on a red heart and felt like one of our more important bench options, but that's a really solid win for us there. 1-0 on the day with a rotation team, so that is a heck of a performance from these boys. Really happy with that. And of course, the 4-0 away win in the first leg really set that tie up as a whole. Great performance from our boys. We were able to give them a good freshen up heading into the final. And of course, that result means we will have CONCACAF Champions League football here at Monterrey next season. So happy with that, considering the state the club were in league-wise when we got here, and making the final as well is a good achievement as well. But that was a really good two-legged tie for us. Absolutely dominant. Pumas barely firing a shot in that second leg, and we dominated them in the first 4-0. So really happy with that, and we will come back shortly to let you guys know who we will be playing in tomorrow's Liga MX final. So a great performance from our guys there to win 5-0 on aggregate, and as you can see, Club America not able to turn around their 1-0 deficit from the first leg. A 0 result at home means that in a somewhat upset, we will be taking on Dorados in the second phase final of Liga MX. It also means Club America are going to miss out on continental football next season. So that's a huge result for us. That could make our task continentally a little bit easier next season. So that's really good stuff for us, both for the final, which we're now no doubt going to be quite heavy favourites for, taking on the team who finished 6th in the league. But that's a bit of an upset. Club America not making the final and not making their way into continental football next season, considering that they were in the latter stages of this year's CONCACAF Champions League, which was won by the Portland Timbers of America, which is a bit of an upset. They beat Pumas in that competition, but in the Mexican final, we will be taking on Dorados, and that will be tomorrow. But the main thing today is that we've guaranteed ourselves continental football for next season, and hopefully we can wrap up the Hexagon Challenge then, especially without Club America, who, according to the media, are the best team here in Mexico, just ahead of us. So that's a pretty big deal. Club America not qualifying for CONCACAF Champions League football next season. But that will do for today's episode. We've secured continental football next season, and tomorrow we will be taking on Dorados over 2 legs in the Liga MX second phase final. If you did enjoy today's episode, a very good win over Pumas. Remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already, also consider hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on as well. But until tomorrow, where we can try and do a double for the season here at Monterrey in Mexico, having joined quite late, so that would be a heck of an accomplishment. But until then, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.